Right, hello there guys, welcome back to a new video. Now in today's video is the third review that I've done already. All of these reviews are going to be released in order. But yeah, we're on the third review and it's a little red, well I say little, a large red car sitting right there. Let's go and meet the owner, let's go and see what the car is and let's get to know about it. Here is the owner, Mr. Graham, the one that helped me sort the Audi out and service that. So what's your toy?
It's a B5 RS4. 2.7 twin turbo V6, not the normal V8 that a lot of people ask me about if it's a V8. A lot of people ask me.
So how comes that it started off as a V6 sort of like in the B5 and then transferred over to the B7 and the V8?
I think it's just more to do with the V8 normally aspirated noise and everything was fantastic for actual owners.
Yeah.
Just leaving it standard. I mean, that standard's quite quiet in comparison to the V8s.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. You've got a bit more of a roar, isn't it, the V8? So.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So what have you actually done to your one? Let's talk a little bit about your one.
So it's got pretty much basic bolt-ons, induction kit, intercoolers, exhaust, injectors. Recently put a new inlet manifold on it. Coilovers, all the wishbone bushes are all polybushed, so anti-roll bars, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. So how much power is it pushing and sort of torque figures and stuff like that, and have you got it mapped at all?
It's still running a sort of get me home map, so it's around 500 horsepower. It needs to have a proper map sorted out on it, but I was a bit tested for time because it's got a larger throttle body than it had originally. Now it's running an RS6 throttle body rather than a normal RS4 throttle body, which is a bit wider, so it needed some calibrating to get that running right.
Yeah.
So I've been driving it around on that for quite a while really.
So after mapping, what sort of BHP figures and torque figures are you looking at roughly?
Again, power it'll be over 500. Just.
Oh, just, so not
yeah,
sort of 550, no?
But torque figures, I don't know. I'd like to say it'd be up there somewhere, Newton meter wise at least around the 500 again. So it'll give you a good kick when you actually get going.
Yeah. So with that being said, obviously there's not too much to show because you kept it quite standard looking, haven't you? It's all sort of like under the bonnet and stuff.
Yeah, they come out the factory I think looking pretty good anyway.
Yeah.
It's lowered a little bit compared to standard just because of the coilovers that are on it. But otherwise, yeah, pretty much just a standard looking old estate banger.
And that's what I like about it. To the naked eye and to people that don't know about these cars, it just literally looks like an Audi A4. And then when you stand on the loud pedal and leave them for dust, which we've done a few times in this thing, yeah, people get surprised by it.
Yeah, so I mean, like there's subtle differences between the RS4 and the standard A4. It's about 1.5 inches wider on the arches. Obviously, standard it sits a bit lower. It's got honeycomb grills rather than normal slats. But otherwise, yeah.
And it's got the vents in the bumper as well, I've noticed.
Yeah, to most people, they just think it's an old Audi estate. Don't think it's anything as fast as what it is.
Yeah. So again, with that being said, and obviously this car being all about power, I think it's about time to go and experience that power. So let's go and jump into it. Right, so before we go for a drive, here is the beating heart. This is the 2.7 V6, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
And so yeah, what has been done under it? Obviously you said about a couple of things, but sort of...
Yeah, so we've got the larger throttle body, the induction kit, the inlet manifold with all the different fuel rails. It's got 800cc injectors ready for when I can finally turn it up a bit more. The intercoolers down each side are bigger than standard. Full turbo back exhaust system, 3-inch downpipes into 3.5-inch from the join back.
Yeah. So this has 2 intercoolers for the turbos?
Yes.
Oh bloody
one
hell.
on each side.
Yeah. And where are the turbos located?
Turbos, one's about here somewhere, you won't be able to see it, and the other one's about there. Again,
So
you won't be able
well
to see
hidden.
it. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to change them, it's an engine out job.
No, blooming hell. And have you done yours?
No, not yet.
Oh right.
It's on the list.
Yeah. What are you planning to go for turbo wise?
Oh, nothing too drastic. Maybe push it to about 600.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's videos on YouTube of these running 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing
Yeah.
compared to them.
Right, so yeah, let's go and experience all of this power and see what it's like to drive. Right, so after a little bit of town driving, we've now found some faster roads, so let's go and experience what this car is like. Whoa! Crikey! This thing is flipping quick! Now, I'm not going to lie, I have been out in this car a couple of times before, and he's sort of teased me with the power. But this is the first proper ride out in this car I've had, and honestly, that is that's bloody rapid. The power is so like, it's almost instant. There's like next to no turbo lag, and this is a twin turbo car as well. There's like next to no turbo lag, and as soon as you properly like hit on it, it chucks you right back in your seat. It really does. The power's so linear as well. It's not sort of like all there and then disappears. It carries through. Bloody hell. Oh, and that's another thing as well that's on this car. Fucking hell. That's another thing that's on this car as well. It's got no lift shift as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's it like from like the driver's view? By the way, I'm not driving this car due to how expensive it is to repair if I run out of talent. So I'm not driving this car, but from the driver's point of view, what is it like to drive?
Bit of a sledgehammer.
How do you mean?
So in comparison to like new cars, it's quite heavy. Gearbox is very heavy to change gear quick or anything like that. So when you're doing mob shifting, you've got to be on it. Basically, you muck it up and you'll know about it. It doesn't tell you. Oh, thanks for that.
Yeah.
It sort of, yeah, lets you really know you've mucked up.
Well, as in like, you know, like, oh shit, the gearbox is now on the floor sort of thing.
Not quite that bad, but it's not happy about it.
Yeah.
I have had the gearbox rebuilt after a Santa Pod jobby. It was a couple of launches that day. There is a video on my Facebook page of that.
Yeah.
It still drove home, but it had a bit of a nasty grumble sort of in first gear, and I thought, synchros, because they're quite common for killing synchros.
Yeah.
But it wasn't synchros, it was the input shaft.
Alright.
So that was...
So what has you done to it? Just bent it or something, or?
no, it effectively spun a bearing, I think. I
Alright.
can't remember now, it's quite a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shaft was like £1,000, and the gearbox rebuild was about £6,000 in the end.
Gearbox rebuild was £6,000.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So
So now you can see why I'm not driving this car, because I don't have £6,000 for a gearbox. In comparison's sake, the Yaris gearbox is about 150 quid.
that's for a whole gearbox.
And that's for a whole gearbox, yeah. But no, honestly, this car is absolutely mental. What you know, like general service items and stuff like. What's the running cost of this thing?
as long as you don't break it, it's not too bad. Like servicing bits, yeah, it's not too expensive. What was it last time? A couple £100, so no different to your normal Audi sort of prices.
Yeah.
But it's just when you break something on it, especially as bits are getting rare for it now. Bits are no longer available. Like I had the second to last front bumper because someone decided to reverse into it for me.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, as I was saying before, sort of I got blown away. This car does have no lift shift as well, which basically means that obviously when you change gear in a normal car, it's foot off the accelerator, foot on the clutch. No lift shift means you keep your foot bedded on the accelerator and just operate the clutch by itself. Really weird, but honestly it works and you feel it. And as well, you've swapped the clutch out, haven't you, from a dual mash to a single mash?
Yeah, it's got a single mash flywheel now. I had a load of issues with an uprated clutch. It was a triple plate that was in there, meant to cape with 1,000 horsepower. But it started slipping after about 800 miles. Turned out that there was something wrong with it, but I just went back to a standard clutch because they're meant to still be rated for like 550, and at the time I was just like, I want the car back. I hadn't had the car for over a year by this point. I was just like, I want it back and I want to drive it.
This thing is just bloody rapid. Crikey. This ain't no flipping grandpa family estate wagon, is it? It definitely is not one of those.
It's not bad.
Oh, it's brilliant, honestly. I love this thing.
So it's got a limited slip diff in the front as well, wave track limited slip diff.
Yeah.
Which obviously helps get it out of corners a bit.
Yeah.
I've got a rear one to go in at some point. Probably this service.
Yeah.
It'll go in. And then just handling wise, it's as good as it'll get.
The brakes on this thing as well, they bloody work too. Like literally, being a passenger in this car is like being on a seesaw. You stand on the accelerator and you're chucked back. You stand on the brakes and you kiss windscreen. Honestly, it's brilliant. Are these standard brakes, or have you upgraded them as well?
They're B7 RS4 brakes. The standard, they're 360.
Is that size?
Yeah, 360mm.
Yeah.
2-pot. The B7s are 365 standard, 8-pot caliper.
Yeah.
So it's got the stopping power, and it's got the B7 set up on the rear as well. So they're 324mm discs on the back.
Yeah.
Which is bigger than most people's fronts on their normal cars anyway.
Bloody hell.
A Mark IV Golf, for example, GTI, normally runs a 288 brake setup.
Yeah.
Some of them have got 312 setups, but that sort of puts it in perspective of how big the rear brakes are.
Bloody hell. But yeah, brakes on these things aren't cheap either. This is another service item as well. Obviously brakes wear, brake pads wear, stuff like that. So yeah, he told me one time to look at the price of a rear brake disc. Just one rear brake disc, and how much are they?
I think that was about 300 or 400 quid.
And they're also as well, like depending on what brand you go for, they can tally up to around about £1,000, which I think was the one that I looked at. I think I looked at the most expensive one. It was like £1,199 or something like that for one brake disc, and that's unbelievable money.
Yeah, when I get round to doing the brakes on the front again, when I change the discs, I'll probably go for the 380mm upgrade, where you sort of space the caliper out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's actually cheaper than
Yeah.
buying just a standard front disc.
Yeah. So yeah. I think we've covered most things. We've covered running costs, the mods done, experience a bit of the power, experience the braking. So I think that leads us to probably one other thing. What? Any common issues? Anything to sort of like look out for when buying one of these?
Oh gosh. So they're reasonably well known for cam wear. So that's like lumpy idle sort of.
Yeah. video. It's an in and out job, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, the stuff that's gone wrong on this for me is a long list. It's old now, so stuff is tired. A 20-year-old car, you can't expect it not to break down. I've had the throttle body die on me. That might have been down to the water meth injection. That was about 800 quid to replace.
Yeah.
The new setup's gone on there now with the inlet manifold and the RS6 throttle body. There wasn't much shy out of a couple of grand for that. I mean, yeah, if you want it in tip-top condition and you want to start pushing more than the standard power out of them, you've got to be prepared to have some deep pockets to fix it properly.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll start wrapping things up here. My phone's still messing around with storage again, which is really weird because it's got nothing on it, and I've got 5 minutes left of recording time if my recording dial is correct. So yeah, my honest review of this car, just being a passenger, obviously I couldn't drive it due to, obviously, as you've heard, how expensive it is to run. It's bloody quick, and it as the whole thing pieces together. Obviously, I haven't been in a standard one of this. This is slightly up, like slightly modified, and as it all sort of like sits together, it's a really well built car. It handles like it's on rails. It stops like you've hit a wall, and the power's just incredible from this thing. So yeah, thank you for letting me get it on the channel, by the way.
That's alright.
And do you want to leave any plugs, any social media links or anything like that?
Not really, because although I've got some Instagrams and that, I don't really put any pictures up on there. I use it mainly to follow other people.
Yeah.
But so yeah, no, not really.
No? Right. So yeah, with that being said, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys did enjoy this one, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you guys want to get your car on the channel, contact information is down below. You've got my Instagram there, Facebook page, and my email. Contact me using one of them 3 ways, and we'll sort out getting the car on the channel as well. I'm a free human being now too, so my time is not limited anymore. So whenever you want to do one, let's get it done. Let's go. So yeah, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.